because we already have the statistic, right? The statistic is looking at what? The difference in means. So determine what will be your null value. Then based on that, you've been given the standard error. So that will help you to come up with a standardized test statistic. First, what do you think will be the null value? 0. 0. Why? Okay, so realize that in this case, we can write a null hypothesis to do what? You can look at the null to be mu firstborn minus mu not firstborn, right? Because we are looking at what? The difference in means. So likewise, you can have the alternative to be mu firstborn minus mu not firstborn, not equal to 0. Okay? So this is what? The null and the alternative hypothesis. So this corresponds to what? The null value, right? And we have the statistics. So to standardize it, we have Z. Who can help us? Catherine?
So I did really
I want you to write it. So you can continue. So you realize that as we saw from the formula, to standardize, we need the what? The statistic minus the null divided by what? The standard error, right? So in this case, the null value, as we saw from the null hypothesis, is what? 0. And we've been given what? The statistic. So we plug that in and we divide that by what? The standard error. And that gives us what? 0.818. So now we want to find the p-value. We are no longer going to use the what? The randomization distribution. We are going to use what? The standard norm, because we what? Standardize the observed statistic. So in this case, realize that I'm using what? The standard normal, right? It's centered at what? At 0. So always, for you to know whether you are using the standard normal, you look at what? The center of the distribution. It's always going to be centered at 0, no matter the null hypothesis value. The standard normal has nothing to do with the null hypothesis. Even if the null is, let's say, mu is equal to 5, and alternative mu not equal to 5. If this is a null value, okay, the standard normal is still going to be centered at 0 when we are finding the p-value, because we've standardized the statistic. So then it's not going to be like the randomization distribution where it's going to be centered at 5. This is based on what? The randomization distribution. Okay. So based on the randomization distribution, it will be centered at 5. But based on the standard normal, it's going to be centered at 0, no matter what. Okay, because we've moved from what? Just using the normal statistic to using the what? The standard normal. So far as we are using the standard normal, it's always going to be centered at 0, no matter the null value. Okay. So based on that, we get a p-value to be what? 0.207. Any question?
How do we know if it's a right cell for that?
Okay. So based on the question, So we look at the alternative. Okay. So let's go back to the question. It says that our firstborn actually smarter. So we have the what? The observed statistic, right? Realize that in this case, we were not given the direction, right? But we considered using the right tail, okay? Because we are looking at the value to be what? To be positive. Realize that the test statistic or the observed statistic is a zero value, right? So then we are going to consider it to be a positive value. Okay? If it's positive, which means that always this value here is going to be greater than this. So then we consider it to be a right tail test. But always, as we've been looking at in previous chapters, you'll be given the direction. You'll be told whether it's greater than or it's less than or it's not equal to. So then that will tell you which tail to use. Okay? But in this case, it's considering a right tail because the statistic given is what? It's a positive value. So because it's a positive value, then we need what? A right tail test. Any other question? So, given the p-value, we come up with our decision and what? Conclusion. Like we always do. So in this case, it says we do not have convincing evidence that firstborn children are smarter. Because why is it saying we do not have convincing evidence? Why? Why are we making such a conclusion? Sorry. Okay, thank you. So you realize that in this case, our p-value of 0.207 is greater than what? Alpha of 0.05, right? So because the p-value is greater than alpha, we do not reject. We do not reject the null. So anytime we do not reject the null, then we do not have what? Convincing evidence. So that is why we conclude by saying we do not have convincing evidence that firstborn children are smart. So this is similar to all that we've been doing. But what is new here is that we need to standardize the statistic. And when you standardize the statistic, you compare it to the standard norm. Then you find your p-value. You no longer use the randomization distribution. Any question? So this section is all about this. Just coming up with this, finding the standardized finding the standardized test statistic and comparing it to the standard normal. Not just the normal distribution, but the standard normal. So I'm going to go over to start P and see how we can use that to find the p-value. So we know that this is for the interface, right? For start P. Now we want the standard normal. So you realize that we have the normal, the T, the chi-square, and the F. So over here we're going for the normal. So having this interface, you click on normal. Now you realize that, let me go back. In start P, first when we're using the randomization distribution, we need to go in for whether it's a single mean or a single proportion or difference in means or difference in proportion. So far as we are using the standard normal, we do not need all these anymore. All that we have to do is just standardize it. When you standardize it, then you can use the standard normal to find the p-value. So in this case, we click on the normal. So when we click on that, we get the normal distribution. Now, depending on the type of test you are conducting, whether it's a left tail, a two tail, or a right tail, you click on it. So let's say we have what we were considering, the example we're doing. So you see this p-value that we got here corresponds to the example that we just solved, right? That is the same p-value. So that is how you work using the standard number in start key. So in this case, you don't have to worry about whether it's a difference in means or a difference in proportion. So far as you are able to standardize it, you go in for the standard normal. Then you realize that I changed this value. So you need to change this value to correspond to the standardized test statistic. It's no longer going to be the observed statistic, but instead the standardized test statistic. Then when you change this, you get a p-value. If you don't change it, you're going to get a default p-value of 0.025. That is the default p-value start key has. So when you change it, then you get your right p-value to correspond to the data you are using. So let's look at an example where I do not change it. You see that? You see, when I didn't change it, I'm getting the what? The default p-value. So if you don't change it, all your work or your homework, you are going to get one constant p-value for all. And that is going to be what? Kind of weird, right? So you always need to what? Change the value here to correspond to your standardized test statistic. Then you can get your p-value. And so far as you are using the standard normal, you need to use the standardized test statistic, which means that given your statistic, you need to what? Standardize it before you can use the standard normal. Any questions? So before we move on to 5.2, I want us to work on some examples under 5.2.